I'm drawing a blank at the moment. I apologize.
No problem. It happens to me also. Yeah, let's go a little bit into it so we remember.
Okay.
Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So let's start with how about we start with chanting the mantra a couple of times and then we come back to our reading.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say like we'll do 5 times.
Okay.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Ram.
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare.
Okay. So all set. This will help
Okay.
us remember what we read. So that's the
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
So so what we did last time is we were talking about different acharyas, different teachers in the
Mhm.
life, and we said one thing they all say is Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead.
Okay.
Some people may say Krishna is a great personality, and that's not the complete truth because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead.
Okay.
And then we went a little bit forward and we saw that Krishna spoke the signs to Arjuna
Mm-hmm.
because Arjuna was his friend and devotee.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where we were, and we read 5 different types of relationships that we can have with God or Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I remember we stopped.
Yes, I think it was. We read those, I believe.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
So let's start from here.
Okay.
You want to go first?
With Arjuna,
Yes.
Arjuna was in a relationship with the Lord as friend. Of course, there is a gulf of difference between this friendship and the friendship found in the material world. This is transcendental friendship, which cannot be had by everyone. Of course, everyone has a particular relationship with the Lord, and that relationship is evoked by the perfection of devotional service. But in the present status of our life, not only have we forgotten the Supreme Lord, but we have forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord. Every living being out of the many, many billions and trillions of living beings has a particular relationship with the Lord eternally. That is called Svarupa. By the process of devotional service, one can revive. That's Svarupa. And that stage is called Svarupa Siddhi, perfection of one's constitutional position. So Arjuna was a devotee and he was in touch with the Supreme Lord in friendship.
Wow. Something you understand, you don't understand from the paragraph. We'll just.
I understand that concept. I've not heard that word before, Svarupa, but I understand what they're saying.
Mm.
Just the special, for lack of a better word, the immense I want to say divinity, supernatural relationship that can be had with God, with our Lord, but that we forget. I feel like we forget. We get, because in our day-to-day lives we forget about that and get distracted. But it's there, and they're saying that that is what Arjuna had. Is that right?
Yeah. So this is how I understand that before we came into this world, we lived with Krishna in the spiritual world, and we all had a relationship with Krishna. Like when we are in a family, we have different relationships. Yeah, we have brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, and mother, father, grandfather, grandmother. They are all unique, different relationships that we have with each person. So, like that, before we came into this world, we were with Krishna in the spiritual world, and we all had a relationship. Not had, we all have a relationship with Krishna, a unique, a special relationship each individual has, which we have forgotten, or it's being covered by other things after we came into this world. And what Prabhupada is helping us do is he is helping us by the knowledge and instructions of Krishna, helping us to revive that relationship that we have forgotten, which we have with the Supreme Lord.
Yes, that's a very encouraging thing to know, that we can, well, we have it, but just that we've forgotten, but that we can, I guess, like that we can remember that we have it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Somebody, when Prabhupada came here to the US, he was asked by a reporter. He usually people referred to him as Swamiji because he was a very old man. At the age of 70, he came from India to US to propagate the signs of Krishna.
Okay.
So a reporter asked him, he said, Swamiji, what's your goal? Why have you come here? And he said, I have just come here to remind you of what you have forgotten. Meaning, I'm not teaching you something new. I'm just helping you remember what you have forgotten, which you already have. It's something like, I have $100 bill in my bag, but I have forgotten, and now I'm saying, "Oh, I don't have money. I don't have money. I need to pay that bill." And
right.
it comes and reminds me, "Hey, look at that! Your pocket has $100 bill," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Something like.
Yeah. Or almost like when somebody has amnesia and they forget, who they are and where they came from and everything. Sort of, it's like kind of like a form of amnesia, like a spiritual amnesia.
Yeah. Okay, let's do the verses. Oh my gosh, they have big verses. How Arjuna accepted the Bhagavad Gita should be noted. His manner of acceptance is given in the 10th chapter, text 12 through 14. So this is way ahead in the Bhagavad Gita, but Prabhupada's just bringing everything that's very important in the whole Bhagavad Gita right here in the introduction to
Okay.
give us a context of what's there in rest of the book.
Okay.
Says, Arjuno Vacha Param Brahma Param Brahma Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve Devarshi Naradas Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravashi Me Sarvam Etadhritam Manye Yanmam Vadasi Keshava Nahi Te Bhagavan Vyaktim Vidurdevan Danavaha. So he'll explain all this, what we just read in English. So let's do that so we know what.
What language is that? Is that Sanskrit? That is that what language is that?
That is Sanskrit, but
Okay.
written in English so we can read. So, like,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
Okay, you want to read the next one?
Sure. Arjuna said, "You are the supreme personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality." Is that a translation of what you just read?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to summarize the paragraph you read?
Yeah, basically just just what it says, just that God is the ultimate, higher than all others, the greatest, um, just what he said, that there's not really words for it. It's just, um, the absolute truth. Um, he's it's his attempt to use words to describe God
Hmm.
is that's what I think. What do you think?
Yeah, if you see, he used 5 words. He's saying eternal, he says transcendental, says the original person, and then the unborn and the greatest. So these 5 terms in itself, they speak a lot, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, we will encounter their complete definitions as we move forward, but since they are being used, we can just visit their definitions. Eternal means something that does not have a beginning and end.
Right.
So we in our bodies, we have a beginning and we have an end, meaning our body has a beginning and an end.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that we see in this world has a beginning and an end. Take a building, whatever, you take anything in the world, it has a beginning and an end.
Mm-hmm.
So eternal is something that does not have a beginning and does not have an end. So meaning Krishna existed before this creation happened, and he continues to exist after this creation will not be there one day. So that's the reason he's saying unborn.
Okay.
So we are born, but then Krishna is not born. He always
He's
exists.
okay. He always was.
Yeah.
Always will be.
Mhm. And so he's saying original person, meaning before anybody else existed, he existed. So he is the original person.
Okay.
And then another word he uses is transcendental. Someone asked me recently, they said, how do you define transcendental? And I kept thinking and thinking and thinking. I said, oh, how am I to define transcendental? And then we went and we looked at the dictionary meaning of transcendental.
Mm-hmm.
It said spiritual, and it ended there. But from the definitions of Bhagavad Gita, we see that we have different definitions of transcendental, and one of them is something you can carry back with you when you go from this material world is transcendental. Like when we go from this material world,
Mm-hmm.
we leave everything here. We leave our bank balance, our house, nothing goes with us,
Mm-hmm.
but the spiritual credit that we earn, we take it along with us to our next destination, wherever we go.
Okay.
So that is transcendental. Something that you cannot weigh or measure tangibly, but then it has a very deep and profound impact on you as a person, a very spiritual impact. Like when you chant Hare Krishna, some people say, oh, I feel so peaceful,
Mm-hmm.
I feel nice. So you cannot measure, or you cannot sometimes even give names to those feelings, but then they are not of this world, because they are transporting you to a completely different world.
Okay.
So that's, and all the sages that he's mentioning here are confirming that Krishna is that person, absolute truth, God.
Mm-hmm.
So he's reaffirming that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So if you see, the whole basis of Bhagavad Gita is this one thing: Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. If Krishna was a normal person, then what he speaks does not have so much value as Bhagavad Gita has today.
Right.
And if you ignore that very fact, then we lose the interest and the value that Bhagavad Gita has.
Mm-hmm.
So, Prabhupada, right at the beginning, he is giving references to say Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay.
So, he said that when we read last week, he's saying that again today, and he will say that many more times, because that is important.
Okay.
He's a very good teacher, and they say somebody who's a good teacher, they the art of teaching is you repeat what is important over and over and over, so it really goes in.
Yes, I agree.
So
Yes.
Prabhupada is like that, he's doing that right away. Okay, should we move on to the next paragraph?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, so after hearing Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna accepted Krishna as Param Brahma. the Supreme Brahman. Every living entity is Brahman, but the Supreme Living Being or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Brahman. Param Dhama means that he is the supreme rest or abode of everything. Pavitram means that he is pure, untainted by material contamination. Purusham means that he is the supreme enjoyer. Shashvatam, he is eternal. Divyam, he is transcendental. Adidevam, the original supreme personality of Godhead. Ajam, the unborn, and Vibhum, the greatest. So he's redefining these words that, if you see, these words have been used here:
Yes.
Brahma, Dhama, Pavitram, Purusham, Shashvat. So all these words that he has used to define Krishna, he is explaining what each one of those words mean.
Okay. Whoops. Are you there? Oh, okay.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad that he did that.
Okay. You want to add or you want to move ahead whenever you feel okay?
We can move ahead.
Okay.
Now, one may think that because Krishna was the friend of Arjuna, Arjuna was telling him all this by way of flattery. But Arjuna, just to drive out this kind of doubt from the minds of the readers of Bhagavad Gita, substantiates these praises in the next verse when he says that Krishna is accepted as the supreme personality of Godhead, not only by himself, but by authorities like Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vaisadeva. These are great personalities who distribute the Vedic knowledge, as it is accepted by all acharyas. Therefore, Arjuna tells Krishna that he accepts whatever he says to be completely perfect. Sarvam etad ratam manye. I accept everything you say to be true. Arjuna also says that the personality of the Lord is very difficult to understand and that he cannot be known even by the great demigods. This means that the Lord cannot even be known by personalities greater than human beings. So, how can a human being understand Lord Sri Krishna without becoming his devotee? Those authorities that they mentioned, and we mentioned them before, Narada, Sita, Devala, are those people that are in the lineage?
Vyasadeva is for sure, Narada is for sure. We can go and check. That's a good check to do. Let's see. So Narada is right here, number 3.
Oh, okay.
Vyasadeva, number 4.
Okay.
I don't see Devala and Asita. But yeah, they had many disciples, so they may not have mentioned each one of them, but this is like a prime lineage that we are. So we have Narada and we have Vyasa.
Okay.
Okay, come back. Where were we here? Yep.
So So it's implied that we're striving to be like Arjuna and being as devoted so that we can understand as well as in the manner that Arjuna is able to understand Krishna and know Krishna. Would that be true?
Yeah, that's the recommendation for us, that we follow in the footsteps of Arjuna. So as he understood, we will understand. So
Okay.
we have the same mood and the same awe and respect towards Krishna that Arjuna had, and hoping to follow in his footsteps and then understand the way he is understanding Krishna.
Okay.
Okay, should we do some more or should we just stop?
Did you have anything you wanted to share that you think would be helpful for me?
Mm, I like always going back to call it our application number one, which is this one.
Okay.
So, this, like we said last time, this is the key to understand Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna emphasizes it. And there was somebody who recently asked me, how do I start doing this mantra? What's like the recommendation? And so I told him the way I heard from my teacher. I said, like you enter into a relationship of marriage with someone, you are committing to the person in that relationship for your life, hoping to be together with one another and support one another up till the end of your life. That's
Mm-hmm.
the commitment in that relationship. So similarly, uh, chanting of this mantra we take up as a commitment, meaning, say I say, okay Krishna, 10 minutes of my day I am going to dedicate to you in,
Okay.
in chanting this mantra. And come what may, I sincerely, honestly dedicate those 10 minutes every day to chanting of this mantra.
Okay.
So that helps. What that does is, it, because Krishna is a person and we are taking time in our day dedicating to him, he is listening when we are chanting. And when he sees us striving every day without missing a single day, he becomes obliged to help us.
Okay.
Like when somebody helps us, we become obliged to help that person when next time he is in need of help,
Mm-hmm.
because we feel grateful that, hey, when I needed help, this person helped me, and so when he needs help, I want to be there for him.
Okay. That makes sense.
Similarly, Krishna is a very grateful person, and when we dedicate our time to him, he notices and he becomes obliged to help us while we are trying to understand and learn the teachings that he spoke.
Okay.
So, like for anything, uh, we need to be disciplined and committed to gain anything in life. Similarly,
Mm-hmm.
on a spiritual path, a practitioner if is disciplined and committed, then the teacher, Lord Krishna, helps from within our heart to understand, and he guides us on the path.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, that's one thing that has helped me a lot. And over time, when you keep doing it, becomes a practice, then you like to do it.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad that you reinforced that to me, the importance and significance of it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, the main point we learned today is Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. That's the thing we
Okay.
we learned. So that's one takeaway
Yes.
our reading today, and just different references and different acharyas reinforcing the same thing, that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead.
Yes.
I
Mhm.
I I like one thing about Bhagavad Gita, which is I always compare it with the state laws and legislative laws, and how every year or 5 years or some number of years you have to go and revisit the laws and
Hmm.
make some amendment in the laws, because
Mhm.
things change and people change and everything changes over time. So you need to keep revisiting and amending the laws. And one thing about Bhagavad Gita is, because Krishna, who created this entire universe, he spoke it, the instructions and the teachings of Bhagavad Gita never need amendment.
Right. Yes.
They are applicable for all time, all people, all generation, always.
Yes.
Uh, it's simple, because it's not that, oh, like if you're reading law, then you're really going crazy, because every 2 years it changes, and then you go refresh yourself, oh, what's the current thing. But this is, if you learn once, then it never changes. I like
Good. There won't be a second edition or anything like that to worry about.
yeah, it's 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 tough to understand, but once you understand, then it doesn't change, at least. Okay, so should we call it a day, let you rest, and hope you feel better by next week when we meet?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yes, I'm sorry if I haven't been very adding much tonight, but I did get a lot out of tonight.
Thank you for joining in spite of not keeping so well.
Oh, yes, you're welcome.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Well,
next week.
okay. All right. I'll see you then.
Okay,
Have
bye.
a good week.
You too.
All right. Bye.